Hey everyone out there in Toyland, Scott Toy Guru Neitlich here, and other than getting to wear a cool Admiral's hat, I started this channel so that I could kind of explain the why of action figures to my fellow collectors, having worked in the industry for over 25 years. Now, action figures tend to come in your standard retail presentation, which is a blister card with one single figure, unless of course it's Hasbro in 2023 and they put them in a box, but that's not important right now. Alright, so in addition to getting basic figures, you can also get figures that are deluxe, meaning they usually come with a bigger figure or a bigger accessory. Now there's a lot of different ways to tackle the concept of a deluxe figure. You can offer the figure refreshed, but this can also work as a basic figure assortment. If you're doing deluxe, it's more than just refreshing a figure. There's actually ways of doing deluxe assortments well and better. And the reason you need deluxe assortments at retail is to extend that planogram statement. If you're just selling one basic figure, you're not going to get listed at Target or Walmart. So let's look at what makes good and bad basic and deluxe figures. So there are kind of three types. There's the deluxe figure with a whole bunch of cool tchotch, or like a mini vehicle. There are larger characters that are too big for a basic figure assortment and require a deluxe execution, like this probe droid here. And then there are figures that come with a large accessory that's from the content, as opposed to that Luke figure I showed earlier, which was a made-up sort of off-screen deluxe concept. Now, the most popular deluxe tends to be added piece count because this adds value for a consumer. But it's not necessarily the best use of a deluxe SKU. It tends to be kind of the go-to, where you take an existing toy and you just tchotch it up, if you will. You just put extra armor, extra hands, extra accessories, and call it a deluxe figure. Now, sometimes this is done, again, with a larger character who wouldn't fit in a basic bubble. Unlike the Masterverse Ram Man, the Classics Ram Man just was himself. He didn't have extra pieces, but that's because he was physically bigger than a regular figure, which is why he needed the deluxe treatment, as opposed to the previous Ram Man I showed you was done through added accessories to make it deluxe. Now, like I said, this tends to be the go-to for most toy makers. They'll take a figure and then throw in something big, be it a gun, be it a personal little flying craft, or et cetera, et cetera. You're basically just getting more than you would with a basic deluxe figure, but it's the same exact type of play. It's a figure that could fit in with the basic assortment. You're just getting more tchotch. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. There have been deluxe figures recently that a lot of fans haven't exactly felt the value was there. Sometimes when you're just adding paint ops, like in the case with Boba Fett, it's hard to see the deluxeness on shelf. Collectors may know they're getting more deco, but parents don't. So what's the winning formula? For those of you out there looking to create toy lines, that's why I've kind of made this channel, there is a formula for amazing success with deluxe figures. And believe it or not, the line I want to use to demonstrate this is the Green Lantern movie line. Not just because I worked on it and I'm intimately familiar with it, but honestly, it had one of the best deluxe SKUs I've ever gotten to work on. All right, so we all know the Green Lantern movie back in 2011 wasn't exactly the cultural game changer. But from a toy perspective, not only did we make the very last ever cover of Toy Fair magazine, awesome, but like I said, the figure line, basic and deluxe, was one of the coolest that I ever got to work on because there was actual thought and meaning behind the differentiation between basic and deluxe. And I'm not giving myself the credit. This is the Mattel designers, people like Ruben Martinez who did this. I just helped market it. Okay, so basic figure, you get a figure and a piece of tchotch, one little snap-on accessory. And you got lots of different characters. You got your main characters, you got your secondary characters, and your background. Although the main character sells so much better, which is why you see lots of variants of those characters in different decos, some screen accurate and some just friendly for kids. Yes, there are collectors out there and kids who want to get an entire universe based on a space hero like Green Lantern, but honestly, the main character sells like 10-1 to anyone else. They really do. And that's why you see so many Batmans, so many Green Lanterns, so many Spider-Mans. Because Abin Sur and the Guardian, they don't sell as well. And even decos that look kind of crazy. I'm like, what the heck? This is like the weirdest deco I've ever seen. It's so not accurate to any content, any movie, any comic book, any TV show. Yeah, but kids love it. And that's who's buying toys. All right, so that's a basic assortment, is finding a way to take your standard hero and find ways to redeco and maybe a new snap-on accessory. Now, obviously, finding new decos can be challenging. With Green Lantern, we had the added advantage of being able to do clear figures because of the whole energy concept. And as far as customized programs, we could throw in tons of tchotch and extra accessories to build that up. But with the actual deluxe assortment, and this is what I want to talk about, this was through a feature that was called Battle Shifters. And it was an instantly transforming accessory that was actually an inventor submission pitched to Mattel as plastic origami. Basically, flat plastic pieces that could pop out into things. Well, the amazing Mattel designers, in this case I believe it was Ruben Martinez was the lead designer, he used this inventor submission to build a system, meaning he wasn't just creating deluxe figures with more accessories or a larger, gun or larger, skateboard or something, but actually creating a deluxe assortment that had a play pattern that complemented the basic figures, but was not achievable with basic figures, and worked for the concept. So with Green Lantern, with these, the ability to create constructs using your ring, if you know the lore, it translated very well and was extremely toyetic, which is why Green Lantern was really set up for success. So the deluxe line featured all of your basic heroes, the same, A-list characters that were in the basic assortment, but they came with these transforming accessories. They weren't just, an extra larger gun. It was actually something that functioned and actually had play. And the real key is it isn't just tied into the deluxe assortment. So obviously the deluxe assortment being a plussed up version of the basic release, but it was actually tied into the TV driver. So usually there's one item that's advertised on TV. In this case, it was the Battle Shifters Green Lantern Ring Blast Jet, which worked the same way as the deluxe assortment. It was sort of plastic origami folded on top of each other that would pop out, and in this case it transformed from a jet into a tank, or rather a tank with one touch and then popped out into a jet. So this became a feature that could be used to advertise it on TV, but because the same feature was used in the high-end TV driver as the deluxe assortment, it allowed the deluxe assortment to get tagged in the TV spot. So in other words, the TV spot would be about the jet, the big high-end item, the bottom of the box, but it would show the entire line because it was related directly through the deluxe feature. The same feature used in the deluxe line was used in the TV driver. And with the deluxe figures not just being plussed up basic figures, even though the movie didn't exactly do that well, the toy line was so toyetic. It was everything you could hope for. Light up characters, aliens, magic transformations. Unfortunately, all of the work that went into this didn't really get in too many kids' hands with the movie bombing. But the point I want to make is that this deluxe assortment complemented basic retail and also connected to the TV driver. And that is what makes a good deluxe assortment. I hope this video was a good introduction to why make deluxe assortments and what makes a good deluxe figure versus just kind of a standard one. Let me know if you have any questions, and as always, thank you so much for sharing these videos. It's the best way to support this channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.